Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome again, my dear students, 8th grade students. As you know, we are still in Unit 7. Today we have a reading text. This is on student book page 81. Of course, today's lesson is Living with Tigers. Of course, students would be able to read and listen to the article, answer the questions about the text, learn a number of new words in context, and express their opinions about the topic. So let's go ahead to your student's book. This is page 81. As you can notice, this is the text with this photo of a tiger living with tigers. So the first thing, as usual, we start with pre-reading questions. These are questions that prepare you to reading. So look at the photo and answer the questions. Where do tigers live? Which country do you think the photograph shows? And why do you think tigers are dangerous? Of course, we start with do you think? So now we are just asking you about your opinion about the text. This is something that can help you understand when you read. So, of course, here we have some questions to guess. Where do tigers live? Which country do you think the photograph shows? And the third question, why do you think tigers are dangerous? Read the article and check your ideas to exercise 1. So the first thing we should start with is reading the text, then we will have some suggested answers for this question. Of course, we will start reading and listening at the same time. Here we have Living with Tigers.
CD2, Track 28. Listen to the article. Living with tigers. In the Sundarbans region in Bangladesh, thousands of people go into the forests every day to fish, hunt, and look for honey and firewood. The work is difficult, and it can also be very dangerous because the forests are home to lots of wildlife, including about 400 tigers. In the last year, tigers have killed about 50 people in the Sundarbans area. The local people feel scared, and they worry that the tigers will come into their villages and attack them. They sometimes go into the forests and kill the tigers. With the help of a tiger charity, local people are learning how to live and work close to tigers, how to look for tiger marks on the forest floor, and listen for the sounds from other animals when there is a tiger nearby. Charity workers also tell people where the attacks have happened. If they see a tiger, they learn not to run away, but to look at it and make lots of noise. The tiger is a big part of the culture here. The people sing songs about tigers and tell stories about tiger gods. The charity hopes that the people will learn to understand the tigers better and will be able to live safely with these beautiful animals. Fact: there are only about 3,000 wild tigers left in the whole world.
Okay, so this is the end of this reading. Of course, we will have some suggested answers for the first 3 questions. Where do tigers live? Which country do you think the photograph shows, and why do you think tigers are dangerous? So here are the suggested answers. Of course, the first one, where do tigers live? In forests, mainly in forests. Which country do you think the photograph shows? This photograph is taken in Bangladesh. And number 3, why do you think tigers are dangerous? Of course, simply because they can kill people. These are suggested answers. Let's move to number 3. What do we have in number 3? Of course, here we have a number of comprehension questions. Read the article again, answer the questions. So please stop the recording here. Try to go back to the text and answer these questions. Here we have 6 questions. Please answer these questions. Okay, so let's start with number 1. What do people do in the forests and the Sundarbans every day? Of course, this is Sundarbans is an area in Bangladesh. What do people do in the forests and the Sundarbans every day? Their daily activities. They fish. Fish here, of course, is a verb. They catch fish. They hunt other animals and look for honey and firewood. Okay, these are the daily activities. What about 2? Why is it dangerous for the people to go into the forest? Why is it dangerous? Of course, because the forests are home to lots of wild animals. Of course, one of these wild animals is the tiger. What about 3? What did the tigers do in the Sundarbans last year? What happened? They killed about 50 people. And what about 4? How is it, or how is the Tiger Charity? The Tiger Charity, there's an organization that tries to help people, helping the people. What is the way of helping people? What did it do? It is teaching them how to live and work close to tigers. Close to tigers. When there's a tiger, how can you live close, near to tigers? What about 5? What should you do if you see a tiger? They told people that whenever you see a tiger, you should look at it and make lots of noise. Don't run away, of course, because if you run away, the tiger would follow you, will pursue you, to chase you. And of course, you can't be faster than a tiger. How is the tiger a part of the culture in the region? The culture, it means the traditions, the beliefs, the ideas. Of course, we have the people sing songs about tigers and tell stories about tiger gods. Okay, this is everything about the comprehension questions. What else do we have is to move to exercise 4, which is about the new vocabulary in context. Match the words in the box to the definitions. Of course, these are taken from the text. We are talking about the bold words: firewood, wildlife, forest floor, charity workers, and of course all of these are compound nouns. What do you mean by compound nouns? Means it's made of 2 different words. So we have 2 nouns that use a new noun. So forest is a noun and floor is a noun. So forest floor is a compound noun. Firewood, it's fire and wood, firewood. Wildlife, charity worker, and fishing boat. So now again, please stop the recording. Try to match these words with their definitions. Try to look for something that which is related to the meaning of the words. Okay, let's start with number 1. Wood. Wood is a material, of course, that you use to make a fire, to set a fire, make a fire. Of course, this is firewood. Here's number 1. Wood that you use to make a fire is firewood. It's different from the wood we use to make furniture, for example. That's wood, and this is firewood. Okay, what is a boat that you use when you go fishing? Of course, this is the purpose. Fishing here is the purpose. So this is a fishing boat. Fishing boat. This is a purpose adjective. It tells me why do we use this boat. This is a fishing boat. It's just like a running shoes. Fishing boat. Okay. And what about three? People who work for a charity. A charity worker. Of course, this is a different order from that found in Arabic. Of course, if it's in Arabic, we have a different order. We will have charity worker with a different order. And what about four? The ground in the forest. The ground in the forest, this is forest floor. It's just like the room floor, we have forest floor. It means the ground in the forest, where you can find the signs, the traces of a tiger. How can you follow a tiger or discover that there is a tiger? Okay. And the animals, birds and plants that live in an area, this is wildlife. All the animals, plants in one certain area is the wildlife. Wild life. Wild is the opposite of domestic. Domestic is something inside the house, and wild is related to outside life. Wildlife, plants and animals. Okay, so these are the new vocabs. You have to memorize them, try to read them once and more again to practice them. Now, in your turn, write your answer to these questions. What dangerous animals, plants, or birds are there in your country? And have you or anyone you know ever had a bad experience with an animal? What happened? Of course, you are welcomed to answer these two questions, either by writing and sending me your answers or making a voice record by the answers. Of course, next time, your next lesson would be about your workbook, reading your workbook. We are talking about another animal, which is the polar bear. The polar bear alert. This is the title of the text on page 71. So you are asked to read this text about the polar bear alert. Alert, it's something that warns you about a possible danger. So, as usual, you are asked to read the text by yourself and answer the question or the questions about this text. We have number 2 is about the bold words and the definitions. As usual, matching the new words with the definitions. Inhabitants, coexistence, season, starving, alert, and encounters. Number 3 is about comprehension questions. Read the text again and answer the questions. Read the answers here. And of course, number 4, write 3 or 4 questions to ask Bob Wilson or one of the people who saw a bear in the town. Of course, it's one of the most important activities to try to ask questions, not answer questions about the text. So that would be quite useful. So please read or write your questions here in these 4 spaces. This is everything about today's lesson. Of course, next lesson we will be again with your workbook with this text. We will read together and try to answer the questions after you answer them by yourselves. Okay, thank you for watching or keeping with us, and we will be together next time with reading workbook page 71. Thank you.